Hello. I fancy doing a video. The weather's it was quite good, quite nice this morning. It's not very good now, but good weather always puts me in a good mood and it sort of motivates me to just to do stuff in general. So I'm in the mood to make a video, and it's been over 3 weeks since my last pickups video. Although you obviously don't generally expect much different from me. Well, the motivation's there. It's just the, grabbing the bull by the horns. I'd rather just revert to my comfort zone. And this is where that is. Oh bloody! I always seem to make videos with something in my eye or a twitchy eye or something. But yeah, I've made a pickups video. I haven't made one. I'm going to make one. I am making one. Where to begin? I've got a little pile of stuff. The quality's doesn't quite match to my last pickups video, but it's okay. It's not bad. Some things from not charity shops, car boot sales. So I thought that in itself was a bit of a momentous occasion. A momentous event. So I've made a little list of things that happened. I'll never remember them. Quite often, some of them are sort of tied into some of the things I've bought, but other things I'll never remember them and just slip them in. Like for instance, I think I mentioned. So in my last few videos, I've started talking, made the whole video, and only realised, or in some it was like been halfway through, only realised that I haven't got the mic like close enough, so I pretty much have to make it again. But no, what was I saying? Yeah, in my last video I mentioned I was going to see Arcade Fire on July the 3rd, and I've been to see Arcade Fire, and they were bloody brilliant. It was a really hot day, really boiling hot day, and I was thinking, me being a pasty whitey, I was thinking I'm going to get sunburnt, but no, I didn't. It's just really good until right at the end, because there was loads of other bands on. It's like a mini festival, like a mini one-day festival. It's really good. So many good. What do you see? Band of Skulls, like blues rock, really loud, really good. And the Cuban Brothers. If you ever get an opportunity to see the Cuban Brothers go, they're really good, really funny. But when Arcade Fire came on, obviously everybody rushed, everybody congregated in front of the stage because that's what they were there for. And the crowd was massive. I couldn't say how many, but wouldn't have been surprised if it was in the hundreds of thousands. It was probably sort of in tens, but there was lots and lots of people. But booze was really expensive. It was like £5 a pint of Foster's, or £5.50 for a pint of Heineken, and there was a 1% difference. So screw it, pay the extra 50p for the extra percent. Not that I could notice a difference. It would have had the same effect whatever I was drinking, but just try not to look as a bit embarrassing drinking Foster's. At least look like you're trying by paying an extra 50p for that 1%. I don't know what I'm talking about anyway. But I think I wasn't really drunk, but I'd really needed to go to the toilet, and I was in the middle of the crowd, and I'd waited for a lull between songs. I thought, now's the time. So I had to pick my way through all these people, and we were quite near the front, so it was for a bit, it was quite difficult having to pick your way through all these people. And I joined a little trail, a little caterpillar trail of people. I sort of joined on the end, and I was sort of really concentrating on where we were going and where I was putting my feet, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, loomed this big pile of bags and coats that this group of people had put on the ground. And for some reason, I chose not to avoid it. I chose to sort of bundle into it, and it basically, it didn't wipe me out, but it made me do this really embarrassing stumble. Like it wasn't like a really funny stumble. It was like a really sort of naff stumble. I was on their bags, and it must have been a bit of an impact, because I've got a big old. I don't think you'll be able to see it. I'm going to show you my hairy legs. You see that? It's still a bit yellow and blue. It was at its height. It was sort of purple, but no, it's really embarrassing. It's the sort of thing that's going to stay with me for years. I'll be like 10 years from now. I'll be walking down the street, just minding my own business, and it'll suddenly pop into my head, and I'll go ah, and it make me wince. But then this bloke sort of just, oh, well, sorry, mate, and picked me up, and then I was just off, too embarrassed. So there you go. And, I've been wincing at it ever since. It's been getting better day by day, you know. I think I'll make it through. I think I'll cope. But yeah. Anyway, that was it. That was my one little story. Apart from the fact that Arcade Fire are really good, fucking brilliant. Best gig I've ever been to. Not that I've ever been to many gigs, but yeah. Pickups. Actually, before I say it, I've been watching a few things on telly. I really think people should watch because they're that good. Last night was the second episode in the new series Utopia, and I remember when the first series was on, I recommended it then. I can't recommend it more highly. Have a go at it. You might need, if you didn't see the first series, you might need to go back and watch that. Otherwise, you won't have the Scooby what's going on. So it is just so unique. And apparently, they're making a remake. There's an American remake, which, you know, on the face of it, sounds fucking hell, they're doing it again, that sort of thing. But I think it's a sort of source material that they could make a proper go at if they can treat it like they treated Fargo. I think the guy who did Fargo would make a really good stab at it because the source material is so unique, and so sort of particular and stylish, and really well done. But I think, you know, but yeah, the new series is just as violent as the first series, just as stylish and well made. But yeah, so watch it, and you can watch it online. I think it's on 4OD. 4OD, yeah, 4OD. And I watched a documentary called "The Men Who Made Us Spend." Men Who Made Us Spend. Yeah, that's all I've got it written down. It was sort of interesting because it basically features. It talks about how the people who sell us stuff make us buy what they've got to sell. You know how big companies. I think they featured IKEA and Apple in particular. So Apple were the people who basically pushed the idea of upgrades. You know, they sort of invented upgrades, and there's all these other ideas, but it also incorporates games machines, I think, and you can see that in things like DS's. You know, I'm not going to go into it, but you know how sort of they introduce a new model after a new model, and sort of incrementally the difference is very slight, but still it still generates a big hoo-ha. I can't think of another word for hoo. Anyway, people get hyped up about it. Hype. You know, the incremental difference between a DS, a DS Lite, a DSi, a DSi XL, a 3DS, and a 3DS XL. I mean, and a 2DS as well. I mean, the 2DS is a step backwards, but still, there's sort of... Anyway, watch it. It's called The Men Who Made Us Spend, and there's something in it for us, because particularly, being I suppose this is sort of like a retro game community, and I'm more into the retro side of it than the brand new side. Being into that sort of thing, you're outside that system, which sort of makes me proud. but then at the same time, you look at how things are going in the way of sort of downloadable content and the way they like to keep control over what you buy. It does tie into what the program was telling us, because they don't have control over that sort of retro side, the second-hand side, do they? And they want to retain some sort of control. So I think that's why they release sort of updates and HD remakes and things like that, so they can basically regain some of the market from all the collectible stuff. I'm just going off on wild tangents. But watch it anyway. Watch it. Hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not sure I know what I'm talking about, but it's called The Men Who Made Us Spend. It's on BBC Two, so it should be on the iPlayer. But anyway, Yeah, pickups. There's three DVDs or box sets. The first one was from a charity shop. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it, but it was a TV series. It was on a couple of years ago. It's called Outcasts. I really enjoyed this, but I don't think they're going to make any more. It's the sort of thing that they sort of pushed, and there was a lot of hype about it. But I don't think it did very well. But I enjoyed it, and it didn't end. There was no sort of conclusion at the end of the series, so I think they've just ditched it. But that seemed to happen. I think what was the other thing a couple of things I watched that I liked. I don't think they make any more. Survivors. I think that got to 2 series. There's people in suits walking up and down my road. Apparently, I've discovered they're after my nan now. They keep going around her house, taking her to their congregating rooms, whatever you call them. But anyway, was it Survivors and Fades? The Fades, I like those as well. And this is another one, Outcasts. I don't think this is getting another series. I very much doubt it. It was well made, but this was in a charity shop. There's a charity shop near me that that has stuff on the street outside, just in baskets and stuff. And the DVDs are always cheap. And this was in a 3 for £1, I think, 50p each, or 3 for £1. So essentially, it's just 33 and a third p, which is good. But I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. Don't know, because there's something in CX I need the credit. Something I want in CX, and it's 20 quid. And I need the credit. I've got 12, so I'm eight short, and I can get 3 for this. So, and being only 33p makes sense. Well, I would like to watch it. I might watch it and then trade it in. Don't know. These next two are keepers, and this one, this is a film called Them. It's a French film. It's a horror film. In French, it's called Il, as ILS, and they quite often have it on Film 4. So if you ever see a film on Film 4 that says ILS or Il, it'll be this. It's terrifying, really good, really quite different, quite unique. About this couple who I think they live, or it's their summer home. Can't remember. But I really should keep the curtains closed. I always get distracted. I've never learned to concentrate. They start getting tormented by these characters who start, just coming into their home. It's good, really good. Actually, I got this is sealed. It's brand new, and I did have this on my Amazon wish list. But I've since discovered that you can get it in CX for 50p or 10p or something really stupid. But not that I've ever seen it in CX for that much. And finally, in a charity shop, as far as the DVD is concerned, in a charity shop, something I missed, always wanted to watch, is just the first series of The Killing. I know if I was going to buy this in HMV or Amazon, I'd pay a lot more than £3. 3 quid. There you go. So, and obviously you can't. I couldn't really. I think this is the sort of thing that does live up to the hype. I think a few people I know watched it. Right, games. First 4. Ooh, sexy. Even better. Ooh. These are all. I think these came with Outcasts, and they were essentially 33p each. But this one, if you wanted to trade it in, if you wanted to buy it in CEX, they'd charge you 10p for it. So I don't think they actually give you money if you try and trade it into CEX. They give you a penny, maybe, I don't know. And this one's not much better. But they were basically for the cases. I needed cases. And these are 2 more. This was Need to Read Underground 2 and Rugby 08s. Again, those were the cases, but these have already been swapped out. And these are the spares. These are my spares, so I do need spares. I think one of these games, I think, what was the game? Yeah, TT Superbikes Legends needed a spare. So yeah, I needed new cases. So now I've got these. Anybody wants these, they can have them. Otherwise, they're just going to the charity shop. I'm going to take them as far away as possible, which is what I generally do. Take them to my nan's. the charity shop, so I don't have to see them every time I go into that charity shop, because obviously no one's going to buy them. Then I'm just flooding charity shops for the stuff they can't sell. But, right, decent stuff. First two are car boot sale purchases from this Saturday. It's now Wednesday. Pardon me. I said I wasn't going to do that, didn't I? Yeah, this one personally, it's sort of not everyone's cup of tea, but this has got a sort of a personal relevance to me. When I was at university in Leeds, it was sort of, we celebrated an end of a project, and went out, got really drunk, and in the union, and I think we went out probably about lunchtime, just stayed there because it was the end of the project. And I really needed to had to go home. I was quite young. I was sort of about 18, a bit of a lightweight. Had to go home, but then had to go shopping first, because it was in the centre of town, and I lived slightly out of town. I had to go into town to get the bus. So I walked past HMV, and then it was a Friday, which is I used to get my money. It's basically what I used to live on. And I thought, I'm going to go in HMV and buy myself a Mega Drive game. It was that long ago. It must have been 95, 96. And spent half my weekly money to live on a Mega Drive game, and it was this. It's NHLPA Hockey 98. I spent 25 quid on this from HMV. And that's how, I think I've mentioned this before, because that's how early it was in the day. I was rat-arsed. HMV was still open. But I got this from the car boot sale, 50p. I went round the car boot sale about 4 times, and on my way out, I'd seen it, and I went past the seller. I thought, should I go and get it? I'll go ask how much it was. And just for old time's sake, and she said 50p, so I thought, yeah. If she'd charged me £1, I probably would have still gone with it. Any more than that, I would have gone, no, you can stick it. You can stick your game, old lady. No, I wouldn't have said that. But there's a lot of nostalgia in this particular game, and I did get pretty good at EA hockey games originally. And my other car boot purchase for £2 was this, which was not bad. That's not a bad one. For some reason, this is collectible, and I don't have any versions of this game on any of my systems. So, and this is just about a 9 out of 10, 8.5, 9 out of 10. It's in just spot on nick. Doesn't look like it's ever been through CEX or ever been through the second-hand system, because sometimes you get like rogue stickers and stuff, don't you? But this was £2, and yeah, it's a game I've always wanted to play, but not necessarily at the top of my to play pile. So if it ever came down to it, and I do need something to trade in, this might be sacrificed, but I would sacrifice it with a heavy heart. But I'll give it a good crack first. And right, 1, 2. This is a mixture of charity shop stuff, cash converters, and eBay. Charity shop. The last Spyro of the PS1 Spyros, Spyro 2. I didn't have this. This was 50p. So yeah. Again, these are collectible. We're not necessarily what sort of way off on my to play list, but they're nice to have, and if you ever feel the need to play a 3D platformer, they're nice to have. It's a nice change of pace. I mean, from a shooter or a fighter or an RPG, it's a different change of pace, isn't it? But this one, bit of a story with this one. Yeah. Lunger, this one, I've got this, so this one is actually, it will be for anybody who wants it. It's not for sale, but if anybody, it's not complete, that's the thing really. I'm not going to sell it on if anybody wants it, because it's missing. It should have come, it's got the disc, the front cover, and it's got the hints and tips book. It should have come with a manual and a map as well. So it's not complete. So if anybody's missing, who needs a disc or hints and tips book, drop me a line. But I'm a bit wary of giving games to people, because I've done it in the past. I've helped someone out in the past, and they turned out to be a bit of a twat. But just drop me a line. It won't hurt. Can't hurt, can it? Yeah, I've got this from Cash Generator. I'm thinking Cash Generators might be closing down, because all the ones I've been in recently have got sort of 40% off stock clearance sales, and just boxes of shit on the floor that just people root through. I think, Cash Generator, Cash Generator, are they on their way out? Are they sort of struggling for money? I don't know. Are they all franchises? Are they all independently owned? I'm not sure, but they all seem to have these sales. But I went into Cash Generator, and this was on the shelf along with a few others I didn't really want. It says 49p. Can you read 49p? Took it to the counter. This is something I've mentioned recently. Took it to the counter, and he charged me 50p. He said, that'd be 50p, mate. I didn't really think. I sort of thought, shall I complain? No, I'm not going to complain. I just sort of gave it to him. I thought, to begin with, he didn't discount it. So 40% would have been, what's that? I think I should have got it for 30p. He didn't discount. He didn't take 19p off. I didn't get it for 30p to begin with. But not only that, he actually charged me an extra 1p. But it does actually say 49p. I wonder if it says it on the. What says on? Because I keep receipts. I do keep receipts. No, total cash. It says total cash 49p. Cash 49p. Change 00. And his name is German Alco Mendas. Yeah. German Alco Mendas. There you go. I gave him 50p, and he didn't get me a change back. That was Cash Generator in Walthamstow. Close to Cash Generator, Cash Converters in Walthamstow, who never give you 1p or 2p change. A bus ride away from Cash Converters in Edmonton, who also don't give you 1p or 2p change. And I'm thinking there's a bit of collusion going on there. There's definitely, I don't know. Am I starting to see a bit of a bit of a pattern? I don't know. Have they all got together and it's like a bit of cahoots, and they all just sort of, I don't know. I don't know. Sure. Next time it happens, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just gonna go, look, why'd you do it? I just want to know. Just tell me why. Is it a thing? Is it a thing you all do? You decide not to give people 1p change, because I thought of complaining, but then you think, feel a bit of an idiot complaining about 1p. I think maybe that's what they're hoping people do. I don't know. None of them do it. I did it once, and the woman she sort of smiled, so maybe it's happened before. She sort of smiled. She had to go into the back room to get me 1p. It's really embarrassing. I felt a right knob. But anyway, next time I'm going to ask them. Hopefully there will be a next time. This is Cash Converters as well, a different one. It's quite a nice find, this actually. Guilty Gear Asuka. These are quite difficult to get, although I got really enthusiastic about it. Went, oh yeah, add that for £1. Got out of the shop, looked on the back. Says, ce n'est pas une évolution, c'est une révolution. It's in French. I think it should be in English. I've not actually tested. But, I just bash buttons anyway. So, it shouldn't make too much difference to me. This actually has a scrolling fighter. There's one scrolling fighter mode. It's basically the Guilty Gear characters with the animations and character models, but with a scrolling fighter mode. So that makes it interesting, collectible. From the branch of Cash Converters in Walthamstow, who don't give you 1p, but I paid my card this time because it was slightly more than their minimum. It's a Skyrim, the Legendary Edition. So obviously, I've got Skyrim, but I traded that in. I got £5 for that. Was it £6? Can't remember. So this made sense because I've got also got the downloadable stuff and all the discs and whatever. Because I think it's all on disc and all the bits. And actually, this version doesn't come with a good map. So I took my old map, put it in this one. So now I've got the best possible version with not map, manual. Because this version, actual version, comes with just literally just like 2 pages. The other one has a proper manual. So now this one has got a proper manual and a proper map and all the downloadable stuff. So basically, I win. The only downside is it's got a shitty sleeve which I'm just going to ditch. It just looks like it's, I don't know, ooh. So that sleeve will get ditched. Charity shop. This is probably my favourite find recently because I literally just added it onto my my eBay saved searches. It's Mr. Mosquito straight from a charity shop, but a charity shop that never has games. It's in a really crowded sort of area called Wood Green. They never have games, but this one is. I think this is a nice little curiosity, a bit like. Actually, no, I've mentioned the other two. It's a bit of a curiosity. It's a bit of a. I think it was part of the Simple 2000 games that were released in Japan. I don't really know. But basically, you're a mosquito and you have to basically fly around a house and bite people. And there's always other stuff that goes with it, and it's a lot more interesting than that sounds. But it's been on my list for a long time actually, but I've never actually really looked for it on eBay. But that's a nice little sort of a curio, I suppose is the right word. And it's actually gone up in price. It costs you about a tenner now, I think, sort of between sort of £7 and £10. So I saw it for £2, and had to nab it. These last 2 eBay purchases. First one, it's a second in a series of 3. It's also a budget title, sort of a budget curiosity, I suppose you could call it. It's Elite Squad, otherwise known as CT Special Forces 2. I've forgotten what like Poor Man's Metal Slug, sort of like more slightly more slower, more tactical, but still with an undeniable Metal Slug look, and definitely worth having. But the first one is a piece of piss to get hold of, and it's probably costs you about no more than £2. This one is slightly more difficult to get hold of, and the last one is actually difficult relatively. This one I've got this in auction. It never comes on auction. It's a sort of game that people charge slightly too much for and buy it now, and wait for an auction. Ended up getting for £2.80, and I beat the snipers at the end. Yes, get in, you wankers. And another one I beat the snipers at the end is Zombie Virus. This sounds like a brilliant game. This is another one. These last 3 games I've mentioned, like Elite Squad, Mr. Mosquito, and this one. I think this one was other end, released on the Essential Games label. I think that's what was 505 Game Street, or I think again that's Simple 2000. I don't know they're connected. It's D3 Publishing. It's basically, I think in Japan this is called Zombies versus Ambulances, or Zombie versus Ambulance. You drive around sort of a zombie apocalypse and have to pick up survivors, and then all the survivors you pick up sort of basically help the sort of process. You pick up soldiers and policemen. It helps morale in the hospital because you have to take them back to hospital. And then you can pick up mechanics and engineers, and they can pimp up your ambulances. And then you have to rescue politicians, and they can open up new parts of the map. And then you can fight bosses. These big it's crazy. It's a budget title, and it looks budgety proper. Yeah, it's essentially like a B game, a budget title. But it's worth having. It's quite collectible, and this cost me just over £6, which I think. It's not worth any more than that. It's about roughly 5 to 7 you'll pay on auction. I think that's probably what it's worth, but no more. Again, it's a sort of game that people will charge too much for. You buy it now, so a load of people people who haven't got the patience to wait for an auction, which they don't often come up on auction. So a lot of people spend over sort of 10 to 12 quid on this, but. It's nice. It's worth having. Like I said, I paid just over £6 for it. But there you go. That's all my bits. I'm gonna call this an end. Put this to sleep. I'm gonna call it a day before 30 minutes. So thanks for watching. The sun's coming out. Yes. There'll be another video soon. I say every time I'm gonna try my hardest to not make it a pickups video. Try and can't have other ideas, but again, I'm probably going to sink back into my comfort zone. But thanks for watching, and Oh, there's an old woman who oh, no, I'm not going to mention that. See you later.